It's so quiet and peaceful here. You can't hear those nasty noises here. It's safe here. Doctors, with kind faces, come and take care of me. Treated. Their medications make me feel good, the memories stop haunting and frightening, and I enjoy peace and quiet all day. But at night they still come back. Memories. They begin to torment me in nightmares, make me relive all the horror of the past over and over again. And they are always permeated with these disgusting, unbearable sounds, causing fear and sticky sweat with their harmless, but creepy essence. Vile, like the stench over a rotting corpse, teeming with buzzing flies. Sounds from which there is nowhere to hide until the night's gloom is dispelled. Children's laughter. The insane quintessence of everything disgusting and demonic that ever existed in this world. It is he who haunts me, reminding me of those terrible days. It is from him that I try to hide behind these soft white walls, falling into oblivion every day from the drugs injected into me. But sometimes, a frightening thought suddenly visits me in a dream, and what if I did the wrong thing then? A year before that, my husband and I moved into a new apartment in a small and cozy town right after our honeymoon. There was no limit to our joy. Finally, our own housing, where we are left to ourselves. My husband has a good job with a decent salary, I am a housewife, I maintained comfort in our nest. In general, we enjoyed living together, and when we found out that I was pregnant, we were over the moon with happiness. The baby was very desirable for both of us, and therefore we jointly took care of my pregnancy. I visited all the necessary doctors, underwent regular examinations, followed diets and regimens. My husband and I were primarily concerned about the baby's health. My husband generally blew dust off me, reacted to my every sneeze. It was the time of the first moments. For the first time, we heard the baby's heart beating on the echocardiogram. The first stirring. The first ultrasound images of an almost formed child. And when they found out that there would be a daughter, they jointly chose a name, and decided that her name would be Alice. But suddenly it was over. My beloved died in a car accident. It happened 3 weeks before the birth. When I was informed about this, I had a nervous breakdown, which caused premature birth and severe internal hemorrhage. I was taken to the clinic fairly quickly, but by that time I had fallen into a coma. The doctors fought for the lives of me and the baby, but they still say that we survived clinical death together. Of course, I missed my husband's funeral. I was in intensive care for a week, and I didn't even have the strength to cry. When I got a little stronger, my baby was brought to me, and from that day I plunged headlong into caring for her, and, they say, from that day I abruptly went on the mend. The only thing that bothered me were disturbing, creepy dreams that made me wake up in a cold sweat, but instantly forgotten. The psychiatrist calmed me down after the examination, said that this was a normal phenomenon after what I had suffered, and everything should pass soon. In general, I began to raise my Alice alone, and tried to give her all my care and love, sometimes leaving no time for my personal life. And what kind of personal life could I have after losing a loved one? Alice soon got stronger, grew up, and I was touched by her ringing laughter. He was like a magic crystal bell. The purest note of joy and sweetness. But the nightmares intensified, forcing me to jump up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. And nothing helped, neither motherwort, nor chamomile decoctions. I did not take more radical remedies, because I was afraid that I would not be able to get up to my daughter, I would not hear her. But one day I woke up in the middle of the night from the playful children's laughter, and, turning my head, looked at the crib, which stood against the left wall of my bedroom. I froze. An icy terror gripped my muscles. In the moonlight that fell through the window, I saw a creepy figure bending over the crib with my daughter. She looked like a woman, very thin and so long that her back rested against the ceiling, bending the letter G. All covered with dirt, and the same dirty rags. Long black locks of hair hung down into the crib, hiding the face of this monster. In the moonlight, huge palms and feet on long and thin limbs were clearly visible, and sagging, wrinkled breasts swayed in the gaps of the robe. And the most terrible thing was that her hair was entwined with my Alice, and she was laughing fervently, fingering them with her tiny hands. I came out of my stupor, screamed, jerked, and woke up, falling out of bed on the floor. The room was almost completely dark, there was no moonlight in the window at all. And there is no moon at all in a clear starry sky. I sat down and turned on the night light on the bedside table next to me. The dim light illuminated the familiar surroundings of the room, the crib, and on it my peacefully snuffling baby. I sat there for about 5 minutes, looking at her and trying to calm my beating heart. What scared me was that this nightmare was very real, and most importantly, I remembered it, which had never happened before. After that, I began to sleep even worse. Now in my nightmares I imagined my daughter's laughter, from which I woke up, only to make sure that she was sleeping peacefully. I thought I was going crazy. And the worst thing is that her laughter began to frighten me in reality. My baby was laughing now, even when I wasn't in the room. It was as if someone was with her. My friends were worried when they saw my condition and heard what I told them for my fears. They sympathized with me. Even from time to time they stayed with me overnight, and on such days and nights nothing strange happened, and I could at least get some sleep. But it still happened again. Just like last time, I woke up to my Alice laughing. Like last time, the room was flooded with moonlight from the window. Once again, the tall, skinny figure leaned over the crib, propping up the ceiling with its back. It was all very obvious and realistic. But, as often happens in a dream, horror pinned me to the bed, not allowing me to move or scream. I could only watch with wide open eyes how my baby was having fun playing with the long hair of this creepy monster. Suddenly, an unknown creature stretched out a long thin hand with huge palms to the child, whose fingers, with dirty claws, resembled spider paws. Gently picked up the baby, and just as carefully hid it in the holes of its disgusting attire. With her other hand, through a hole in her hoodie, she grabbed her wrinkled, sagging chest like a rotten fruit, and jerked it off, spraying black pus on the wall. A piece of vile flesh suddenly began to wriggle in her palm, a mouth-like hole appeared in it. Thanks for watching. In the near future I will release part 2 of this wonderful story, so subscribe to the channel and be sure to wait. I love you all.